Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to AI Within Reach, practical tools and frameworks for everyday success. My name is Tosh Brooks, and I am the program coordinator for the U.S. Small and Medium-Sized Business Entrepreneurs at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. For those who may be new to us, the NASDAQ Center is a nonprofit dedicated to helping entrepreneurs access the knowledge, mentorship, and resources that they need to start and grow successful businesses. Today's session is designed for founders who are actively building and growing their businesses. Whether you're still refining your business model, managing cash flow, expanding your customer base, or figuring out how to scale what you've already started, running a business often means making big decisions with limited time and resources. Our goal with today's program is to share practical insights that can help you move your business forward with greater clarity and confidence. Before we dive in, I'm going to launch a few quick polls so we can get a sense of where everyone is in their journey. We use this feedback to help shape the programs and resources we provide for this global community of entrepreneurs. While you're answering, feel free to drop in the chat where you're joining from today. We always love seeing the range of places founders are dialing in from. We'll also have live Q&A at the end of the session, so please feel free to submit questions anytime using the Q&A feature. While the poll is running, I'd like to briefly recognize the partners who make this possible. The work we do at the NASDAQ Center is supported by organizations including NASDAQ, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, KPMG, Walmart, the Asia Innovation Hub, Wilson Sonsini, the Nareet Foundation, KKR, and BPM. Their support helps us expand access to resources and knowledge for entrepreneurs everywhere, and we're grateful for their partnership. Now let's get started. Let's look back on these polls. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? We have 71% of entrepreneurs on this call are feeling optimistic, about 22% surviving, and we do have some entrepreneurs feeling anxious.
Mhm.
What's keeping you up at night? Is it finance, sales, marketing, scaling? What is keeping you up at night as an entrepreneur? All right. We have about 30% coming in finance, some sales, marketing, pivoting. Well, without any further delay, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our moderator, Cami Taylor, Director of U.S. Small and Medium-Sized Business Entrepreneurial Programs and Volunteerism at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center.
Thanks so much, Tosh. Hello, community, and welcome. We have an exciting panel for you, and I'm going to go ahead and not delay us anymore and bring them onto our stage. First, we have Amy Wood, who is founder at Flint Avenue. We have Diane Nugent, who is the founder and CEO of Design AI. And we also have Design AI. Sorry, Diane, if you can help me with that when you start to talk. We have Sasha Walton, who is CEO at SWI Management Group. Welcome, ladies. Oh, and one more thing before I start our first question. May I also add that each of these panelists are also graduates of our Milestone Circles program at the center, which is a 12-week immersive experience supporting business growth. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay, finally I got on. It wouldn't come on. So, hi, everybody.
Awesome. All right, so let's just begin by grounding ourselves in where many of our founders are today. AI is everywhere. And many entrepreneurs are feeling a little bit overwhelmed or maybe even intimidated and unclear of exactly where to start, right? And so before we talk about all the things, the tools, the tactics, let's think about and let's explore the mindset. And so this first question, I'm going to open it up to all. Amy, I'm going to go ahead and start with you and then we'll go around. AI is everywhere, but many founders are still struggling to move from curiosity to actual implementation. So, what do you think is the biggest misconception preventing entrepreneurs from getting started with AI in practical ways? Amy?
Certainly. Yeah. Well, it's overwhelming even for the people who are working in AI because it changes constantly. And things are improving. I mean, last month we were creating pictures that had like extra arms and fingers, and now they're beautiful and they're perfect. And so it can be a little bit daunting, but one of the things I think that would help a misconception is that it's not highly technical. There's actually a lower bar than what we think. We don't need a technology team to implement AI. It's something that you can do yourself. For example, a bakery owner that is feeling friction with keeping up with social media at the same time that they're running their bakery can find ways to implement AI to help them save some time and posting on their social for them, things like that. And so it's a little bit lower of a technology bar than you maybe imagine.
No, thank you. And Diana, then we'll go to Sasha. But what do you both think? What do you think is the biggest misconception preventing entrepreneurs from getting started?
Yeah, I think exactly what she said. You don't need to be an engineer or you don't need to code. The bar is low. And I think the biggest thing is how do you want to use AI in your business? And the misconception is that they feel like they're not an AI business or a technology business, so I don't need to use it. But really, it is for small businesses to use, whether you're in technology or you're a mom and pop shop. It's meant to help you in your business and to help if it make things efficient for your social media marketing is one of the areas.
Awesome. And Sasha.
Yeah, I would just say, I mean, everyone just definitely said it all, but I would love to add that it's not scary. I think a lot of times people look at the horror stories that are out here, different agents going rogue and things like that, or with that part of I'm not technical, I may not even have the degree or background in IT or anything like that, and you don't need it. The only thing you really do need to do is embrace it. It's not going anywhere. It is a part of our society, is a part of our digital technological realm that we're in, and just embrace it. Learn how to adapt and implement it into your business and other things around you.
That was great. Thank you all. All right, so let's dig in a little bit further. Amy, I'm going to come over back to you. So you have helped businesses grow through practical AI integration rather than complexity. How can founders identify their highest impact areas in their business to apply AI first without becoming overwhelmed by the tools and trends?
Great question. We want to start with one pain point and not 20 AI tools. We don't need to be everywhere, all the places, all the times. We want to start with one pain point. And usually those friction or pain points are identified by thinking through something that takes too long, something that annoys you that you don't want to do all the time, or something that's repetitive, like someone consistently asking the same question or things like that. For small business, I see 4 areas right away that could create immediate value. That's in your marketing and content creation, in customer communications, for research and analysis, and definitely for your internal documentation, like your SOPs, job descriptions, things like that, processes and procedures.
I love that. So what is repetitive and what doesn't take too long? So, think about that. So community, put that in the chat. What is the thing in your business that's repetitive and is not, and maybe something that takes too long? Is that right, Amy? That takes something that takes too long.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Yes, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Okay, Diane, over to you. You have transitioned from social work into technology and AI entrepreneurship. So what mindset shifts helped you successfully navigate that transition? And what can non-technical founders learn from your journey?
Well, that's a great question too, because I think it's really important that when we start our businesses, we start it for a reason and we tap into something we don't realize we have, our own expertise and our own experience. And I think as a social worker, my biggest thing was I solve problems, I work with people, and that's how I believe my mindset. I saw a problem and it really started. I started an app on Facebook back in 2010, and that's how the transition started. I saw a problem. Everybody was on Facebook doing photos and posting photos, but I wanted to give them a tool to use to create photo albums and designs. And so then it said, okay, how do I do that? And then you tap in, just like a problem you did with a social worker. I would say, okay, what resources do we need? And I would tap into that. The biggest thing is I also follow the framework of what that sounds like Meta, but it is Meta, but not the Facebook Meta. But mindset is, look at your mindset and how can you tap into more positive um, feelings about yourself, what you can do, and realize what you can't do, and how you can outsource that. And then how E is for evolving. We always want to evolve, whether we're jumping like I did from a social work background into my small business or into a technology, is we want our business to grow. So we want to keep that mindset of evolving. And then the T is like transitioning, is looking at tension and transitioning. Tension should be your guide, because if you don't have tension, then you're not growing. So all those acronyms that I'm using all kind of tie into each other. And then you always want to be transforming yourself in your business, whether you're jumping like I did or not. And then the A is about accelerating. You always want to scale, right? So it's about, what do you need to do to get there? And I think that's the mindset, is just knowing that you have your own expertise and you need to embrace that and trust that what you're doing is something that you can do. And then what do you need to do to bring in other resources to help you with your vision?
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And speaking that mindset piece
Yeah.
is so critical. And speaking of transforming and also thinking about scaling, Sasha, come to you now. Your work centers around helping founders build enterprise level systems without requiring technical expertise. What are some of the biggest opportunities AI creates for entrepreneurs who traditionally may have felt excluded from tech innovation?
Well, I love this question. Thank you so much. So the biggest opportunity is not just about, you know, prompting or creating our fun character, pictures and things like that. But the biggest opportunity is about ownership. It is that AI ownership that we can have as business owners. We're thinking about what helps to make our business run more smoother, right? What can solve a problem in our business? And then when we take that and innovate and create something using AI, like an app or, your own agents and so forth, now you can implement those sources into your business. But the great part about it, you own it. And then on top of that, you can create passive income and scalability by utilizing that as a subscription service, being able to white label it and to put it out there in the market for others to use as well, who may be experiencing the same type of pain points that you once have. So definitely, it has created the biggest opportunity for you to just join the game. Now, once you're in it, it's about how you're going to play it, right? I will also say this. You're already in the game. Once you decided to subscribe to Claude and use it, ChatGPT and use it, you have entered into that playing field of tech innovation. So it's no longer the tech of yesterday. It's no longer where you think that, oh, this is so beyond me. No, you're in it. So now let's use it to be scalable and think about growth strategies for your business.
This is great. So this is such dovetails into my next question. So I'm gonna stay with you, Sasha, and then I'm just gonna go for everyone. So from Sasha, I'll go to Amy and then Diane. So many founders, as you said, they experiment with AI tools, but now I have to integrate them to my business, to workflows. So what separates this AI experimentation from implementation that actually drive business results?
Yeah, the thing that differentiates that is the strategy. So when we're experimenting, we're saying, okay, you know what, I just want to get in there and try it. I heard about this prompt. I want to try it. I don't even know how to prompt. Let me just put in some words. Let's see what's going to happen. So as Amy and Diane both said, AI is there to help us streamline our processes. It's to make our jobs a lot easier. And so when you're experimenting, you see what works, but what if it saves time? What if it cuts out, a responsibility or a task that you don't have to do in yourself, but you're using AI to do it? Then it becomes something that you are implying into your business every day. So that's when it goes from being experimentation to implementation, and definitely the strategy behind it. How do you want to use it going forward? How do you want your team to start using it? If there's something where you build a SOP around it, or build a SOP from your AI source. And then you're going into that whole phase of implementation, and it's becoming a part of your system. And that's really the greatest part about it, especially for solopreneurs. If you're a solopreneur, you definitely want to look in how to utilize GPTs, how to create agents, how to implement them in your system, and utilize it to the best advantage for yourself and your business.
Okay, Sasha, you just said GPTs and agents.
Yes.
Can I just stop for a second and see if we could get like a quick definition of the two? How many of you all that's joining us is like, oh my goodness, I'm excited, but she's using words now. Let me get help with it. I know someone's laughing in the chat with it. This is so good, though. This is so good. But yes, Sasha, do you want to break that down for a moment, and then I'm gonna go to Amy?
Yeah, so I'll start by GPT. GPT is basically it's the generative pre-trained transformer. That's what it stands for, but we all know it's GPT, right? Some of our GPTs may have names, but when you're using that, that is particularly for chat, OpenAI's platform. Of course, in Claude, you have your own in Claude, you can name it and so forth. But your agents is, well, I will also say GPTs can serve as an agent as well. It depends on how you implement it in your business. But then also there's other platforms where you can create agents, and the agents will have specified tasks. They will have specified knowledge base about your business, about yourself, and how you want to utilize it. I know Diane talked about visibility and social media. If you want to have an agent that's specifically doing your social media posts, connect. You got to remember the passwords to connect your Facebook, your LinkedIn, and so forth to it. And then it can actually do that for you. Or what is it, managing your calendar for you, creating press releases, whatever it is, it actually knows more about your business, and it's just a great way of being able to utilize a team without having, to having a human-based team, especially if you're not in a position to do that.
Awesome, thank you. And as Amy has already taught us, those repetitive tasks. Amy,
Definitely.
anything that you would add about what separates AI experimentation from implementation?
Yeah, just to simplify it in a couple of sentences, experimentation would answer the question, can AI do this? And implementation is going to answer the question, who owns the process and how are we going to measure the success of the outcome? So the goal isn't necessarily just using AI more and more, it's to get a better business outcome. And you get that when you build a repeatable workflow, assigned accountability, and you have some measurable outcomes like Sasha mentioned, time saved, how many leads you generated, things that that actually moved the needle.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Diane, anything that you'd want to add?
I just think instead of asking, what can the tool do for me? Look at what your business challenge is and how can you integrate this tool into your system, into your business, and how will it help you? And the best thing to do is not look at it experimenting, but have more intention of how it's going to help you grow your business.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all. All right, Amy, I'm back to you. You've worked across both technology and energy sectors and now support founders through practical AI-driven market systems. How is AI changing the way small businesses should think about visibility, customer engagement, and growth strategy?
So we're going to learn a couple new words again, because that's the name of the game right now. But for years, we optimized using search engines, right? We've heard of SEO. And now we're optimizing for answer engines, which some people call AEO, answer engine optimization, and some people call GEO, generative engine optimization. And the market really hasn't decided what our primary, like what we're going to land on, but I go with GEO. I like GEO.
Yeah.
Because it says Geo too at the same time, right? But people are increasingly asking ChatGPT, Claude, all these other platforms, the answers instead of typing searches into Google. So that means we have to think differently about our visibility. We're not going to show up with keywords the same way we used to show up. Now we're going to show up because we have consistently published expertise. So your blogs are still important. Keywording those blogs is important, but we want to like narrow the focus of what you're talking about. So if you right now have just a million different ideas that are popping up all over your website, your social channels, and things like that, you may pick one thing that you're really the expert in and spend your time producing content in that specific area because these language models, they have the ability to search with an understanding. So it's not just a keyword that's triggering a random list of results. It's actually piecing together things that it's finding on Reddit and conversations that you've been in and LinkedIn. And it's also pulling from websites and things like that. So the winners are going to be the companies that consistently publish expertise, answer customer questions very clearly, and work on building their authority across multiple platforms.
Consistency. Ooh,
Mhm.
okay. All right. Diane. So we
Mhm.
just talked a
Yeah.
lot of technical stuff.
I know.
Great.
It was excellent.
You have built AI-powered platforms while also mentoring startups and advocating for women entrepreneurs. What are some of the most common fears or hesitations that founders have expressed about AI adoption? And how have you helped them move past it?
That is a great question because it reminds me of back when we first got on social media, back when Facebook first started, long before Instagram, long before Pinterest, and people were afraid of it then. And now we're even more technical with the word AI. Artificial intelligence can be very scary. So I hear a lot of like, I'm not technical enough. I'm fearful of it. We talked a little bit earlier, AI came on with like a tidal wave, like it just came to us and all of a sudden it's just unloaded and how do we use it? And so I think those are all really legitimate thoughts that people are feeling, and I think it's okay to have those feelings, but also how I help them move through it is, besides listening to that, is also kind of helping them visualize what it can do for their company. And again, I really focus on what are they trying to solve. And I think that is part of why we launched our platform, was what during our focus groups is what did we hear that people were having a problem with? And most of it was time, being efficient, not having a budget, and here AI is offering that all in one package. And so when you put it to them like that, then it's okay, how do I do it? And I think it was you, Sasha, that said, let's just put a few words in the prompt and just get started. And then once you do, you realize that the bar is low, like Amy said. It's not that hard. And AI is actually doing the work. You don't need to know how AI is working. You just need to use it in order for it to help your business. And I think that's the most important thing that helps people transition and use AI. And there are still some people like on the sidelines that say to me, well, I don't want AI to have my data, but I always say to them, but you're on everything. If you have a phone, if you have use Claude or use ChatGPT or you go to Gemini, you search, your data is there, so it's not like they're capturing anything new. And plus, that said, we have more privacy software that companies use. They're more focused on making sure that if they are using your data, that they're letting you know it, they're more transparent about it. So I think informing and educating has helped them transition.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Sasha, Diane just talked a little bit about the importance of visualizing, founders being able to visualize, what they're trying to do. Through your Evolve TM framework and TechAway initiative, you helped founders transform ideas into scalable ecosystems. So how can entrepreneurs avoid using AI in fragmented ways and instead build systems that create long-term operational leverage?
Thank you. Yeah, it basically starts, like you said, visualization. It is that idea. So when we're going from using it in fragmented ways and you start thinking about systems, once again, I'll point it back to what is that challenge in your business? What is that pain point? What is it something that you can solve? So instead of it looking at it from piece by piece, what is the ecosystem you can develop around it? So if I further answer this question using evolve. So evolve actually stands for establish, visualize, optimize, leverage, value, and evaluate. And when you're using all of those words and the systems behind it, it'll help you to understand how do you want to implement the idea to make it effective into your business as an ecosystem. So I find that a lot of founders, they think in terms of using AI as far as tools by tools and not systems. And it's the systems that help you to gain better traction. It is a system that helps you to leverage opportunities and so forth. So I think that founders need to really embrace that systematic approach versus I'm just going to start using tech or I'm still going to start using a prompt just to start doing something. And I want to lead by example with this. Now, I'm a business strategist, right? Business coach and everything. And I have been into this whole tech world for the past 2 years. And just like so many of you that are actually watching and listening to us right now, I started with a prompt. I started with saying, oh, let me see how to experiment with this.
Mhm.
I am a very analytical person and I'm a creative person. So for me, it was easier to embrace. But I started prompting. I saw what the outcome was. I saw what the results were. I started implementing it into my business to help me to work with my clients a lot more swifter, efficiently. Plus, I'm post-concussion person who has a concussion. And so I implemented my business for that reason, so I wouldn't lack in any kind of way. So now I have grown from that space to being an AI developer. I create AI apps. I have a financial app. I have a GovCon app and so forth. But I wanted to at least share that in a way to let you know that it is possible. It is possible for you to really take more out of less. And we think that just getting in here and prompting is the simplest thing that you can do. But you can actually use AI to create AI tools. And when you leverage that opportunity, when you get in it and you start building, that's where you're going to see that it is limitless opportunities when you're utilizing AI.
Ooh, she
That
said
is really
limitless opportunities, you all. What do you all think, chat community? How y'all feeling? Let us know in the chat. Okay, we've talked a lot about technical things just now. We're ready. We got our pain points. We're going to figure out what did I learn today? We talked about our GPTs and our agents and our SEO, search engine optimization, and our GEOs. But here's the thing. As AI becomes more powerful, founders face a very critical question. Just because something can be automated, should it be? So technology can create efficiency and entrepreneurs can, entrepreneurship though is still fundamentally built on trust, relationships, and human connection. So let's talk for a moment about how founders can leverage AI while still preserving leadership and authenticity with their customers and also continuing to make their business unique. And so I'm going to pull this around to all of you. Amy, I'll start with you when I go around. AI can create enormous efficiency gains, but founders can also fall into the trap of automating things that shouldn't be automated. So how should entrepreneurs decide where human connection still matters most?
Sure. My rule for this is really simple. We're going to automate transactions and we're going to humanize relationships. So AI can schedule your appointments, it can answer common questions, it can summarize meetings, but trust, empathy, leadership, negotiation, coaching, all of those things still need to have a human touch.
Automate transactions, humanize relationships. Did you all catch that? Yes. See the chat's blowing up. Facts. Perfect. Love it. All right. Diane, I'm going to go to you next. What do you think? How can entrepreneurs decide where human connection matters most?
I think the first rule of thumb is when you are a business owner is human relationships are the most important and AI is your companion. That's how you want to look at it. And I think it's really important that AI is there to assist you, not take over you. So, and we have personalities, small mom and pop shops, small businesses, founders, solopreneurs. And one of the things that I feel is that your authenticity is what drives the customers in. And people are using AI, which is great, but it's not only about automating, it's like also humanizing your newsletter, your emails, your post is not, it's okay to go into the prompts. It's okay to say, hey, I need a post for today. What's trending? But how are you going to execute it to make it sound authentic and who you are behind the business? One of the biggest things that customers love is getting to know who you are as a business. And the only way they're going to do that is when you humanize and keep it a humanized your social media, your marketing, or whatever you're doing, but use AI as your companion.
Love that. Yes. Sasha.
Yes, I would start by just saying technology scales efficiency and people scales trust. When you're looking at it and making sure that a humanistic side is still there, we've all worked with systems. AI is just a level up from what we're used to. Microsoft is a system, IBM is a system. We always had systems. Now there's a system with artificial intelligence attached to it that we all are privy to use. So I will leave this also in just a rule of thumb that I learned from working systems years ago on a professional level. Systems will always be 80% system, 20% human, right? So the person that taught me this, and I stand by this today, even working with AI, that it should always be flipped. When you're dealing with anything systematic, always keep the 80% human part of it, 20% system, because at the end of the day, the system is not going to be able to tell you everything. It still takes for that human touch to be able to predict what is it that we know. The weather changes, people changes, like so many different things, right? That the systems will not be able to tell you. So if you keep that as a rule of thumb, and then remember that technology scales efficiency and people scales trust, then you will always keep it in mind that you have to keep the human touch in it. That's all, as much as possible.
Awesome. Oh, these are great. Are y'all catching this in the chat? Put it in the chat what you just caught. I'll tell you, I have my notes, but do you all have your notes? Let us know in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Put it in the chat. All right, I have one more question for each of you, and then we'll go to a final takeaway at the very end. Amy, I'm coming to you next. So, a lot of entrepreneurs are operating with limited time and resources. What are some simple AI workflows or habits founders can implement immediately and create measurable value without requiring major operational changes?
Definitely. First, I think some of you have already experienced this because I see them in the participants, and that is to use AI as your meeting assistant. That's a really good practical place to start implementing AI. Second, you could use AI as a personal advisor to give AI context about your business to help you brainstorm marketing ideas, review your messaging, just different aspects of the business. Third, you can ask your favorite LLM, your favorite large language model, or your favorite GPT, what is a good prompt to get this result? You can ask it to ask you probing questions to help you build those things out. So the workflows you can get there by actually using the tool itself to tell you how to use the tool itself, which I think is pretty awesome.
Love that. Thank you. Diane, over to you. So you've spoken on AI for organizations ranging from Microsoft to entrepreneurial communities. How do you see AI leveling the playing field for small businesses and startups competing against much larger companies?
Well, thank you, because I have spoken about this for so long, long before AI came out, that for small businesses, we were always at a disadvantage. We didn't have the budget or the expertise or the resources to hire a team, and yet we had to still compete in the market and on social media, which has become the number one way to market your company. And AI has now leveled that field for them. AI is a way for small businesses to be able to utilize the tools and be able to be on social media as well as then in their business, and they'll have more time. You know, one of the things that we started with when I started designing AI, it was with a simple goal in mind, and that was to make AI accessible to small businesses, to all small businesses. And everything has exploded, and now it's not only a design tool that I want them to have access to, but now they have access to, as we mentioned, to ChatGPT, to Claude, to other means that they can do their newsletter, they can create systems, and they can workflow. They can have personal agents, as everybody has talked about. So there's so many things that AI has done for small businesses that have helped them be in the same arena as have the same resources that are accessible to them that large businesses had prior, but now they have. And that's what I think is really important and very exciting, actually, that for the first time, I feel they have this new tool that helps with efficiency, cost, and with having them out there being visible, and then at the same time be able to be in their business and feel organized enough that they can meet with their customers or look at what their customers' problems are, or more time to spend at events to build up their leads and, you know, things like that. So I think it's just been a wonderful, AI has been a wonderful tool for small businesses to use.
Thank you, yes, for sharing that. And then finally, Sasha, you often talk about translating innovation into opportunity. What advice would you give founders who know AI will impact their industry, but feel uncertain about how to position themselves for long-term relevance and growth?
Yeah, I would start by saying the whole thing is to don't look at it as if you have to keep up with AI, but think about it in terms of, or asking yourself, how can you evolve with it? Technology is always going to change. Technology changes once every 5 to 10 years, and it's going to continuously change. Tools are going to continuously change. Everything around you is going to change. And the AI could change if you're a 9 to 5 worker, still running a business on the side. AI is actually changing the scope of so many things. But when you look at it from a standpoint of learning to lead with it versus competing with it, then it puts you in a better position to, whether it's that classes that you need to take, what are the certifications that you need, what is it that you can learn more. You have an advantage, even if you're an entrepreneur that works a 9 to 5. You have an advantage by implementing AI prompts, tools, systems in your business that actually can put you in position to do more even on your job. So the thing is to put yourself in a position where AI can't touch you because you're leading with it, and create. That's why I speak about ownership. Innovation is not just about, oh, how can we build the next digital image or anything like that. It's not just about the prompts anymore. It's about what can you leverage with ownership of the innovation. So if you're someone that maybe still be working and you might be fearful about, okay, AI just laid off a whole department at my job. What am I going to do? You learn it, you adapt, you evolve with it, and you be ready to create. Because let's say if you were that person that got caught up, or if you have already, you could learn that system and turn around and create something to sell it to another company. So that puts you in a position of leverage, once again, that innovation and passive income and ownership.
Ooh, love that. Oh, you just said something there. Passive income and ownership. All right. Here's our final question. A fast, rapid fire. I want to go around to everyone for this final question. And we have time for questions Q&A. So if you have questions for the panel, does that work for everyone? We'll do a quick Q&A. You all can use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. So to our panelists, what is one takeaway you would like the audience from our conversation today? You would like our audience to action immediately. You've taught us so many things. You taught us and you shared. So what is one thing that they can action immediately, or what's one takeaway that you want them to walk away with? Whoever wants to take that one first.
Well, I'll take it. I think the most important thing is not to have fear, but to embrace it because it's there to help you, to assist you, as I mentioned, become your companion. And it's not only in your business. The best thing is when we talk about time, you can use it for your housekeeping list, for your grocery list, for your trips, and it saves so much time that whereas before you might have been overwhelmed, that now you have it actually organizes your life in a lot of ways, and it gives you more time for your business. And my last point is real quickly, I know, is just like as I mentioned, keep the human touch because for small businesses, it's their personality that has made small businesses so great. And if you don't keep that authentic personal touch and you let AI take over, then that wouldn't be very good. I think that's the biggest key.
My key takeaway kind of follows that exactly. The opportunity isn't to become an AI company. Your opportunity is to become a business or a company that uses AI well.
Ooh,
That's good.
that's good. Both of those.
Everybody-
All right, Sasha, bring us home with this.
Yeah, just know that you don't have to be an expert to benefit from AI. It always starts from one challenge, solve one problem, build one system. The small steps create momentum, but add the value. Just position yourself to leverage, and it's limitless.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you all. We're going to do some Q&A. If you have questions, put it in the
Thank you.
Q&A function. But before we go, I just want to quickly talk about something exciting and new. Have you all signed up, all of our community? Have you signed up for our Founders Hour tomorrow? So we're talking about those pain points. This is a moment to identify a milestone, a pain point, a critical need to be able to accelerate and grow your business. And so sign up. We'll put the information in the chat. Thank you. Jillian just put it in the chat for you. But don't just keep this good information to yourself. Share with your founder friends. Bring your founder friends to this experience. We have one tomorrow. We're going to have one on the 9th. And so, yes, someone says, I've signed up for it. Yes. Bring a friend with you, bring a founder friend, and let's have a wonderful meeting again and connecting. And then, hey, who knows? Maybe AI is going to help you with your milestone as you're moving forward. All right. All right, we have some questions that are coming through. This first question, okay. So this person says, I have had a terrible experience with AI recommending a marketing strategy, but it was one that I could not afford, even though I believe the strategy, AI recommending a marketing strategy because it was one I could afford, even though I believe the strategy would not be effective. Um, and so the other question that they have is that when I use AI for research, I have to check every source and every line and often find mistakes of unrelated sources, which takes a lot longer. And so basically they're saying, do you have any tips on just navigating these issues that happens with an AI?
Well, I'd like to real quickly respond, and I'll let the other two experts on this subject respond. But my first thing is, I think it's a really great point about putting in something and then getting it out and then believing it. You do need to put it back in or look at it and prompt it several times to see. For me, I feel like that's really important, like especially about marketing strategy, to see and try to narrow it down. Sometimes it gives you a broad marketing strategy, but does it really fit your business? So again, that's that authentic piece. Is it really meant for your business? Or because sometimes they'll put out generic marketing strategies for you to execute. It doesn't necessarily mean. So when you get it, either prompt it again or look at it and look how you can make it your own.
Yeah, I would like to add to that. Great points.
Yeah.
And I would add even further, this is where that human touch comes in at, because a lot of times you really need to know what it is that you want. How do you want to position your business, including your marketing? So when you understand that for yourself first, before going to AI, then you know what to prompt to get the feedback that you really want in the marketing strategy. So it's already good that you looked at it and said, okay, I don't think this really for me. Now I would challenge you and say, okay, look at it for your from your own viewpoint, from your own mindset, from what you see for your own business. What is your target audience? Looking at all of that before you go to AI to research it, then it should be able to, you be able to prompt it, but it gives you back exactly or close to what you've already been considering.
That's good. Okay, here's one more question for you all. This is pretty neat. I would like to use AI to tie together my shipping operation, so connecting my inventory, packing slips, invoices, and payment tracking. Right now, it is on several Word and Excel documents. So, how can I use AI to bring it all together?
That's kind of a stacked question, isn't it?
I know, I was
There's a
thinking.
lot you could do there. There's different apps that you can work through, but what I would probably suggest you start with is get on like a chat GPT and tell it that exact problem that you're having, and then say, what platforms already exist? Can you do deep research for me? What platforms already exist? Because you're not the first logistics company or the first, you know what I mean? Like it may have a list of something that already exists. And then if you just want to really play with building an app or something like that, you could get on a website called Base 44, and base44.ai would let you build that app. Zapier is another one that can connect multiple platforms together to help you kind of build those solutions. But I would literally get in ChatGPT and say, this is what I'm trying to do. Tell me exactly what platforms would work the best for me, and start working it that way. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if I'm gonna answer, you already know what I'm gonna say. Amy, you said build it.
Build it. Yeah, build the
Build it.
app.
Build it. Plug out to Base 44. I'm a Base 44 girl myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is the opportunity for you to go into chat. I am biased when it comes to chat. I'm sorry, you guys. I have not used Claude yet. I'm a chat girl, very loyal. But whoever you use, Claude or chat, put it in there. Be very precise with your prompt.
Mhm.
Have it to give it to you, just like, hey, are there any other systems? What can I do to pull this together myself? Then take that same information and plug it into Base 44. Develop your app from there. That's how you can use AI to build your own AI tool.
Yep.
Someone asked, please repeat. Base
Okay.
44. What was the other one you suggested? Is there another
Zapier.
Zapier?
You have to have a little bit of skills to implement Zapier connections, but Base 44 is where, I use just the same way that Sasha's talking about it.
She's like,
I
yeah.
don't even write the prompt for Base 44. I let Chat GPT write the prompt for me and tell it every single thing I want it to do. And then I move that prompt over into the other platforms. And you can use the different platforms to, test them out and see who gives you the better prompt.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. I have one more question. And if anyone has any other questions, we have a couple of minutes. So just put it inside of the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. So this person says, what are the parts of marketing you would tell a fresh graduate coming into the industry to be thoroughly knowledgeable in AI so that they have an edge in the market, to showing that AI shouldn't replace them, but they are more valuable for their company with AI?
Oh, I have a good answer for that one. I wouldn't lead with your content creation capabilities. I would lead with your ability to use AI for deep research, competitive analysis, things like that. Because when we're leveraging AI to do some of those like tasks that would take hours in marketing before, competitive research, market research, all of those things take months at times. But when you can really hone those reporting skills and use it to do your analytics, I think
Ooh,
even
yeah.
to pull together analytics from multiple platforms and to produce knowledgeable reporting, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. I just did a thing with University of Washington mentoring students there, and that was one of the key things that we were talking to them about, changing your resume up, just exactly what you said. So that's really great.
Awesome. And I'm hearing, I see a couple of questions about classes on how to create agents. So y'all taught us something, and now we need another. I have to invite all of you back again. And now learn, how do we create an agent? How many of you all need that? Let us know inside of the chat. I'm getting that. I've got it multiple times inside of the Q&A. Like, wait a minute, is there a class? How do I create an agent? Yes. Me? Okay, agents are fun. Okay, so
Agents are fun.
Yeah, and they're so popular now. I have to tell you a story real quickly. When I first started, we moved from PhotoPad to, I always wanted to do this AI piece where we help people quickly create designs and graphics, whatever. But the team, who was more technical than me, kept saying, as we're building out the next phase, we need to add design agents. But agents weren't popular yet on the scene. And I'm like, I don't want to complicate things. I don't want to, small businesses, this is going to be tough enough. And the funny thing was, I said, okay, let's do it. And this is before it even became popular, because it was a way, how they explained it to me, it was a way for small businesses now to have a team that they couldn't afford to have all in one platform, right? And now everywhere I look, I'm using design agents here and there. It's very quick to catch on. So just sharing that little story, it's kind of funny how quickly things are moving, but they're meant to help you. And I think that's really important.
The one thing I will also add, for those who want to play around and create your own agents, once again, Team Base 44, they have super agents and agents that you can actually create. And you can connect your calendar, you can connect Zapier, you connect so many different other platforms that you may already be using. Anything Google related, they do that. If you use Wix for your websites, you can connect Wix. You could do a lot of things with those agents, and you build that knowledge base. You tell it exactly what you want it to know about you, your business, and so forth. If you are using Chat or Claude a lot, one thing I would say this, when you're using them, it will get to know you better than yourself. I have we have conversations all the time. And so I've actually taken that and built one of my agents from it, because my chat, and I'm reading through it, I'm like, wow, you're taking good care of me because it knows me. So have fun with it. That's number one.
Yeah, I love
But definitely go ahead and use those resources and get it going for yourself. And you can just see how wonderful it is, especially when it does tasks for you. It's beautiful.
Okay, I have one last question that just came in before we wrap up. This is an interesting question because I think it's one that I have heard come up a time or two. How can you say you own something if it hasn't been created by you?
Well, it wouldn't have been created without you.
I like that.
That's good. That's good. But once you create it, your idea is your idea. That is your IP.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
there are other ways you definitely want to protect your IP. That's when you go further into your copyright, your trademark, you're doing all the patents, you do all those things to protect it. But once it's your idea and you build it. And if you're building it on platforms that respects that, like Base 44 is really good. You get your own code. You can transfer the code anywhere. And so even though you're vibing, it's still your code. So always look for those platforms that show that that ownership is your ownership.
Yeah.
But if you want to go deeper with it, protect it with your trademarks, copyrights, and so forth.
Yeah. And also, I want to add, because we talk about ownership, is somebody was talking about research as well, is making sure to check those, if it's not going to be your own, to check the sources and quote those sources in whatever you're doing.
Oh, this was amazing.
Great
This
questions.
was so great. We have to do this again
Yes.
and talk about agents next time. Because
Yes.
they're like, dig in, we want to know about it. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do this again if that's good with everyone. Oh my goodness. Amy, Diane, Sasha, thank you
Thank you.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pass it back. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it over to Tosh.
Amy, Diane, Sasha, that was phenomenal. I can't wait for the agents class myself. The energy was electric, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So thank you so much for taking the time to come speak to the community, share your insights, and set such a great overview. On behalf of the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center and everyone in attendance today, we sincerely thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right. And for everyone else, all of our wonderful attendees, great job with the questions today. We love it. We love to see it. And we would love for you to join us on our upcoming webinars. You can view the upcoming events by using the link in the chat. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and we look forward to welcoming you back online with us soon.
All right, thank you, everybody.